Today's question comes from Matthew 16. When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" Well, they replied, "Some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, and others say Jeremiah or one of the other prophets." And then he asked them, "But who do you say that I am?" That's defining question number 7. Who do you say that Jesus is? Do you notice Jesus' first question in this exchange? Who do people say that the Son of Man is? Now, why does Jesus ask who other people say he is? Because that is where a great many of us get our perceptions. For a lot of us, our Jesus is our parents' Jesus, or it's our grandmother's Jesus, or maybe it's our pastor's Jesus, or even the Jesus that is portrayed in society at large. The important question in your life isn't who other people say Jesus is. It is who you say Jesus is. Now notice also that Jesus doesn't ask, who is he? The question is not, who am I? He asks who others say that he is, and then he asks the disciples who they say that he is. He isn't concerned with his identity. He is concerned with their perception of his identity. Why? Because our path is determined by our perception, not by God's identity itself. God is all-powerful, all-knowing, immortal, and ever-present. But my perception will limit how meaningful those facts are in my life. If I think Jesus is rigid and judgmental, I will live my life locked in a prison of legalism. And I will also tend to judge others and criticize others around me for their shortcomings. On the other hand, if I only see the meek and mild Jesus, how am I going to live in boldness, courage, and faith? Whatever limitations I have in my perception of Jesus will set limitations on my own development. So, while the disciples say that other people think Jesus is a prophet or teacher, Jesus then says, "Who do you say that?" And Peter declares Jesus to be this promised Messiah, the ruler of heaven and earth. Based on that perception, that big perception, Jesus prophesies a big future. And he says Peter's going to lead a church so powerful that even hell itself will fall before it. So how do we make sure our perception of Jesus doesn't limit our future? We form our perceptions the same way Peter did. Jesus told Peter, "You're blessed, Simon, son of John, because my Father in heaven has revealed this to you. You did not learn this from any human being." Do you want a more complete, more accurate perception of Jesus? Look to the Father for revelation. Pray for God to reveal more of his Son. Read the Gospels with fresh eyes. Really study the things Jesus said and did. If you underestimate Jesus, you limit your own development. Now, the first 6 questions were about you. They were about your gifts and your abilities and where you are and who you are. But this question is actually about Jesus and is perhaps the most important question in the entire series. Who do you say that I am?